All right, so last two questions because we're running short of time. First one, did you learn anything from this movie?
Um, is this my question first?
Yeah, because I did the music one first.
Okay. Well, I guess from an actor and performer standpoint, at this point, I truly learned that Jim Carrey is more than just a rubber-faced performer that can make people laugh. He's an actual actor, as comedians often are really good actors. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. So I think Jim Carrey showed a lot of depth. So I did learn that about Jim Carrey, and he had the sinister side that even just like tweaking the smile that he had at the very end of the movie when he asks that guy, if he wants to be his friend, he gives that little smile. Or that time when he's on the phone with Robin and that spider goes across his face. He's still smiling. He's still Jim Carrey, but just with a tiny tweak, he's creepy Jim Carrey. So I did learn that about Jim Carrey. And I learned also to never, ever slip your cable guy any money to get free cable.
No,
It could be
no,
disastrous.
exactly. I learned that I think this is a great case study in dark comedies for me. So I kind of learned where the bar is for dark comedy because I've seen a lot of other ones that are just push it a little too far, where it's
Yeah,
like you just kind of feel weird watching it and laughing about it.
right.
But this one hits right at the bar. And if I were ever to do a dark comedy, which I don't know if I ever will, this would be one that I would probably study and try to figure out how do you get to that bar without completely crossing over it or not getting far enough either.
Right.
So I think it was a great case study for what a dark comedy should look like. All right, last question, and I'll go first.
Okay.
If you have to give the film an award, this for some reason is my favorite question.
It's a good
Uh,
question.
if you had to give the film an award, fictional or real, which award would you give it? I decided I would give it the Nostradamus Award
Okay.
because I think there's so much foreshadowing and prediction of the future in this film. It's 1996, so your mid 90s, 95, I guess, is when it was actually shot. So that's even a year left. But Jim Carrey talks about, can you imagine one day you're going to be sitting here watching something playing Mortal Kombat with a guy in Japan on one device, like do all these other devices? That was not even a thing. The
No.
internet connection, like the high speed internet connection that is now, was
Didn't
not a
exist.
thing.
Right.
But I think he talks about watching something on your phone. He mentions that too. That was not even like that was completely a foreign concept.
Yeah, that was
So
like
to
science
me,
talk, basically.
yeah, and he nailed every single aspect of it, and even the craziness that this media turns people into
Yes.
is shown in the movie too. So I was like, this is a foreshadowing of 15, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road.
Because that movie was, if you think about it, 25 years ago. The Cable Guy is
Mhm.
25 years old, basically. I mean, 95 until now is 20, 25 years ago. So
This
that's
movie, and I
crazy.
think
Um,
Truman Show is another one
I would
that
give it
is a
the.
foreshadowing movie. Sorry, I think we're on a delay.
The
Uh
Truman
oh.
Show. That's a good one as well.
Okay, there
That's
you
that's a good one as well. I've not watched that in quite some time. Yeah, I see that.
go. Oh no.
It's my internet.
No
I'll cut this
worries.
part out. Are we good now? I'll
Yeah,
cut
we're
this
good.
part out. So I would give it the Lonely Heart Award if I were
Oh,
going to give it an award, just because of the loneliness that Chip. Because for one, we don't know. Do we know Chip's real name?
I don't think we ever learn it. What's the name he gives at the end?
No. He gives um, Ricky Ricardo.
Ricky Ricardo, that's right.
So he's not even secure enough about himself to let anyone know his real name. So he's a lonely soul, and so I give Chip Douglas the Lonely Heart Award. and he's not even a real cable guy. He doesn't work there.
He's gotten fired from every
So,
single cable company he's worked for.
for stalking customers. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, that does it for this episode of Adam and Jake Do the Movies. We'll be back next week with a new film. What film are we going to have next week?
I think next week we're doing Mulholland Drive by
Mulholland
David Lynch.
We're
So
getting
this will be-
darker and darker and darker. The week after, we got to brighten things back up again. I can't.
Next week will be really dark. It's going
Yeah.
to be like a nighttime episode almost.
It's almost like a dark version of The Big Picture.
Yeah.
It's a very dark version of The Big Picture.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that'll do it for this episode. So for Adam and Jake Do the Movies, I'm Jake.
I'm Adam.
And we will see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
See you later.